Child by Sylvia Plath. Structure, summary, analysis. Hello and welcome to the discourse. Much of Sylvia Plath's poetry was extremely autobiographical in nature, and yet still, by drawing from her own personal experiences as a woman, the poet's writing touches on countless global experiences to which many female readers might still relate to in this modern day. Arguably, one of the most prevalent examples of this phenomenon comes in the form of a common theme throughout much of Plath's poetry, that of parental relationships. Sylvia Plath wrote several poems that explore themes of childhood, motherhood, and family dynamics. One of her notable poems is Child, published in 1971, a short but poignant piece from her posthumous collection Winter Trees. It is a deceptively simple poem that explores complex emotions surrounding motherhood, innocence, and existential anxiety. Plath's son was born in January 1962. A year later, shortly before her death, she wrote Child, a short poem that reflects her intense feelings about motherhood. The poem shows Plath's sensitivity to the needs of her child and also includes her wishes for the child's future. The poem themes reflect Plath's own struggles with depression and her fears about passing on her inner turmoil to her children. It is a poem of love and anguish. The poem opens with an almost reverent admiration for the child's purity. Plath contrasts this idealized vision with her own troubled psyche, highlighting the tension between parental love and self-doubt. Child encapsulates Plath's dual vision of motherhood as both a source of transcendent love and a mirror of one's deepest fears. Its themes resonate with her broader preoccupations, the fragility of the self, the weight of legacy, and the struggle to protect innocence in a broken world. Structure of Child. Plath's Child is a short poem of 12 lines. The poem is written in four three-line stanzas. There is no set rhyme scheme in the poem, as it is written in free verse. The irregular rhyme pattern mirrors its emotional tension, moving from hope and tenderness to anxiety and despair. The poem has no regular meter or rhyme scheme, typical of Plath's later confessional style. Enjambment, lines flowing without punctuation, creates a sense of urgency and fluidity, especially in the transition from idealized imagery to darkness. Plath has used enjambment and fragmentation, metaphors and symbolism, imagery, alliteration and assonance, juxtaposition and contrast, and subtle personification in the poem. Summary of Child, stanza 1, lines 1 to 3. Your clear eye is the one absolutely beautiful thing. I want to fill it with color and ducks, the Jew of the new. These opening lines introduce the central conflict of the poem, a mother's odd admiration for her child's innocence and her desperate desire to protect it by filling the child's world with joyful, vibrant experiences. The imagery shifts from purity, clear eye, to playful imagination, color and ducks, Jew of the new. The clear eye symbolizes the child's untainted perception, a blank slate uncorrupted by the world's darkness. The hyperbolic phrase, absolutely beautiful thing, emphasizes the mother's reverence for this purity, suggesting it's the only thing she finds unquestionably good in her troubled world. She wants to fill the child's vision with happiness, color, and playful, innocent creatures, ducks. A Jew represents controlled wildness, new, exciting experiences that are safe for the child. The last line suggests ambiguity, as the new could mean novelty or the child's future, but it's fragile. Jew animals are caged, hinting at latent anxiety. Clear eye is a metaphor for the child's innocence. Stanza 2, lines 4 to 6. Whose name you meditate, April snowdrop, Indian pipe, little. This line depicts the child's innocent contemplation of nature, focusing on delicate flowers, April snowdrop, Indian pipe, that symbolize purity and transience. The fragmentary little suggests both the child's smallness and the fragility of this idyllic moment before the poem's darker turn. The child meditates on nature's names, implying a quiet, almost spiritual connection to the world. The abrupt dash in the fourth line creates suspense, hinting at the vulnerability of this peaceful scene. April snowdrop is an early spring flower symbolizing hope and fragility, blooms in snow, while Indian pipe is a ghostly white, chlorophyll-less plant that thrives in darkness, foreshadowing the poem's later gloom. April, spring, rebirth versus Indian pipe, decay, mirrors the poem's tension and contrasts between joy and despair. Indian pipe, also known as the corpse plant, is an allusion subtly introducing death imagery. The fragmented line, little, presents ambiguity, which could modify the child, little one, the flowers, or their voices. Stanza 3, lines 7 to 9. Stalk without wrinkle, pool in which images should be grand and classical. These lines extend the floral metaphor, stalk, while introducing water imagery, pool, to depict the child's mind as a pristine, untouched space where only perfect reflections belong. The shift to should be reveals the mother's anxious idealism, foreshadowing her fear of failure. The extended flower metaphor continues from snowdrop Indian pipe, now emphasizing smooth perfection without wrinkle, which symbolizes vulnerability. A stalk is easily broken, mirroring the child's fragility. The child's consciousness is a clear pool that reflects the world. The ninth line brings ambiguity and tension. Should reveals the mother's desperate hope rather than reality. Grand and classical suggests timeless orderly beauty. The gap between should be and what is, the mother's darkness, drives the poem's anguish. Stanza 4, lines 10 to 12. Not this troublous wringing of hands, this dark ceiling without a star. The poem's closing lines shatter the earlier idyllic imagery with a stark admission of the mother's anxiety. Where she wanted to fill the child's world with color and classical perfection, she instead sees only her own nervous agitation, wringing of hands, and oppressive despair, dark ceiling without a star. The abrupt knot negates all preceding hopes. Troublous, an older form of troubled, lends a Shakespearean gravity to her distress. Hand-wringing is a classical gesture of helplessness. The 11th line break, after dark, suspends the reader in emptiness before revealing the full horror of the ceiling. The ceiling without a star is a claustrophobic symbol. A ceiling typically shelters, but this one stifles. No stars imply no hope, no navigation points, contrasting with earlier Jew of the new. Unlike the expansive, grand and classical ideals, this is a closed, starless universe, suggesting cosmic despair. The dark ceiling evokes a dungeon or coffin, suggesting emotional suffocation. The poem ends on a depressing confessional note, suggesting the mother's failure to protect the child from her own darkness. So this is it for today. We will continue to discuss the history of American English literature. Please stay connected with the discourse. Thanks and regards.